What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Young Moguls podcast, where we keep it real, relatable, and super motivational. It's your girl, Reagan.
And it's your boy, Real MJ Hill. And look, family, today we have a special guest for you. His name is HUDSON. He's been a huge mentor for me, and he's inspired me with all of his videos. I'm telling y'all, he's going to drop a lot of value on y'all today. He's a speaker, he's an author, he's an entrepreneur, he's an advocate for mental health, and he's a father. So much respect to you, Mr. Hudson. And just to get it started off, if we were to ask you who is HUDSON, what would you say?
You know, like I try not to put myself in a category of life that I have lived. I try not to put myself in a category of work that I'm doing in the moment. So if you was to ask me who HUDSON is, I would tell you I'm still figuring it out.
Wow.
That's I did a lot of things, like I say, in the music industry, in retail, and just the world. But like I say, I don't want to cap my journey off with yesterday, because I'm still becoming, I'm still growing, I'm still learning, So when it comes to being a son, when it comes to being a father, it's so much more things to learn. So, that's what I look forward to. I look forward to waking up and learning new information. And the minute you're willing to grow and change based on the information you receive, that keeps you alive. Because, you stunt your growth when you're saying, this is who I am, this is what I do.
Right.
You have no idea. It's a quote that says, even though we know who we are, we know not who we may be, right? Mm-hmm. You're only who you are today with what you knew yesterday. So right. I have no idea who and what this journey is gonna, have for me in store. So I'm a growing human. Well, I'm a growing soul,
right?
And I'm embracing all the possibilities of life.
Right. I definitely resonate with that, because I definitely feel like when we're trying to achieve certain dreams and goals, we have this expectation for ourselves, and we unintentionally block off many opportunities and many doors that we could have, succeeded with and run with. But unintentionally, like I said, we blocked it off because we have a certain expectation for ourselves. But you always have to be open to new doors. Like people say that you may be expecting a blessing, but it may come in a different package than you expected it to. You just always have to be open and looking out, and not try to cut certain things off just because of how they may come or how they may look.
Yeah. But and look, and most of us become our environment. So it was a time in my life where I was told I'll be dead before I was 18. It was a time in my life where I was in a foster home. It was a time in my life where I didn't know what I knew now, right? So with the information and traveling the world and talking and connecting with so many people, like I understand the potential and what potential is, and I have the possibilities to be and do anything. So it's like some of us say we are what the moment presented to us, and we don't understand. That's just time, So I always say it's important to embrace the moment, but you don't have to adopt and become every moment.
Right.
Okay. That's huge, actually, because that's one thing that I was kind of thinking to myself. I was just wondering, like, when I was younger, my main dream was to be a professional basketball player. That was my main thing. And I would practice at that, and I would work at that every single day. And then when my life hit that switch, when I got my heart murmur and I had to take a break from it, and I found a passion with speaking, I was like I was in a place where I was like, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? I thought basketball was my identity. I thought that's what I was supposed to be. And now I'm moving to being a motivational speaker and doing all these things with my clothing brand. And it's like, okay, you just have to let life take you, right? You just got to let God lead you. Like a lot of times you're never really going to know, where your life's going to go, or how, or like you just said, Reagan, how your blessings are going to come. And that's just one thing I realized through that whole situation. Like, I thought I was going to inspire people and inspire millions through playing basketball. And now I'm inspiring millions using my voice and my story. So I think that's huge, not letting the moment, define you, and just letting time determine, where it takes you in your life and your journey. So that's huge. And that's another thing I wanted to ask you. Like, when you were younger, actually, what advice would you give to your younger self? That you may have like wished you heard when you were younger. Like, what advice would you give to your younger self?
So, like I say, I'll go into some of my story. right? Because y'all are future billionaires in information and future billionaires and just like y'all name, young moguls, right?
Yes, sir.
And so y'all have the opportunity with social media, y'all have the opportunity to see the world, but when I was young, so I always tell my story, I was molested at 6 years old. I grew up in a foster home. I graduated high school. I didn't know how to read the diploma. I was on Ritalin. I didn't know my father. So I always say it's a difference between being stupid and dumb, right? I never had the opportunity to learn, right? So when you're looking at the world through music videos, and you're looking at the world through broken environments, it's one thing like not to know your potential. It's one thing to not have access to information. So you don't know when you don't know,
Right.
you know. So my younger self, because I look at my young space in life, that is the college, that is the degree of my journey. Because now as a grown man and a father, I learned so much based on what I survived. That little kid, and
Right.
being a father and having a son and seeing how young I was and seeing the things that I've been through, because it's a difference when you put a better version of yourself back in the world. But
Right.
you want to rescue yourself,
Right.
So it's like that's why I put so much energy into my son and into all the children that I love. But I will tell myself, to just value the moment, because I always say life come to you in two phases, right? So
Mhm.
you have pain and then you have information, right? And it's some people that only extract the pain, right? So I could talk about all the pain I've been through at a young age, but like I say, now as a father and a man, everything that I learned from those times, from those experiences, from surviving, from moving it, that's where my strength come from. That's where everything that I am and I have the ability to endure, that I have the ability to create, to be innovative, to be in tune, to be close to children. So I will tell myself to not run from the pain, but to value it.
Right.
Right. That's
That's huge.
beautiful. Yeah, that's definitely very important. Like Marquis said at the very beginning, you wear many, many hats. You're an entrepreneur, you're an author, you're a speaker, and you just talked about a lot of your experiences in life. Was there one big moment that prompted you to drift into entrepreneurship or start doing the things that you're doing now? Or like, what was your turning point?
That's funny. Um, see, y'all sent me these questions, but I don't like reading questions because I like for them to be organic. So
Right.
I wanted to think about them as you guys asked me. Um, I don't know, like I just live life different. It's sometimes we're told we gotta have degrees, we have to be professionals, we have to learn this. I did
Hmm.
so many things in my life based on just being present in the moment, right? Because I always say life is a language and conversations control your destiny, right? So when you're in rooms with successful people, that room have a certain vibration and they're using a certain language. When you're in a room with lawyers, when you're in a room with doctors, when you're in a room with people that think they can't do something, it's certain words that someone that don't believe in themselves use. So man, I can't do that. I can't make it, man. Easier said than done, right? So if
Hmm.
you sit back and you listen to the words that people are using, their destiny is not too far from the words they use, right?
Mm.
So growing and knowing these things, it's like I live in so many different worlds,
Yeah.
and being speakers is powerful what words can do,
Right.
right? So sometimes
Yes.
sometimes we think it takes money. Sometimes we think it takes no. Sometimes all you need to do is show up as your true, authentic self. Words put me and my family in places I don't have no money to be in these rooms, like
Right.
And not only the words, but like I say, being genuine, being real, being true, like making it bigger than just monetizing, making it bigger than just being a social media influencer, or making it bigger than just, you know, being a person that walk up to people and go, hey, how you doing? Oh yeah, like we don't even give the pause for the person to even respond, you know?
Right.
But
Yeah.
when I go, hey, how you doing? And I really pause and look into someone's eyes and give them the gap to tell me about their day. And that one conversation can turn into a lifelong friendship. That one conversation could turn into a lifelong journey with someone that appreciates you because they remember when you gave them an opportunity to share their story. So many people that they're trapped in a character. They're trapped in a perspective of being a person that people think they're supposed to be. And when
Right.
when you show up with an open, honest version of yourself, you give people the opportunity to share who they truly are. So
Right.
when it comes to me, I just live that way. So it's no one thing that say, you know, I just don't I never like really 9 to 5s, you know. And my background is was in directing. I was in the music business. Like I said, I was in retail. So I learned so many different things in all of these fields and all of these journeys.
Right.
And I just like being free. I like being free. I don't like the planes, but I love traveling, you know. So that's really it. It's just um being connected to that raw, free energy, and that exists in every space in life.
Right. And how did you get there? Because I want to ask you, has that always just been part of who you are? Or was it something that you had to learn, like being that real, genuine, like being your authentic self? Because I know that's something a lot of people struggle with. Definitely our generation, like it's a lot of people out here that struggle with being authentic self, and sometimes they feel they have to change, or sometimes they feel they have to put on this front and put on this character because of the judgmental world that we live in, right? So
Mhm.
like how do you always stay true to yourself, and how are you always just that genuine real version of you?
It hurts to not be myself. Like it hurts to have to remember who I was pretending to be when I meet people, right? So
Right.
I don't ever want to fake. I always want to be able to meet people, connect to people, to talk to people, and to be genuinely where I am in the moment, right? So if
Right.
if I'm walking up to you and I'm this character and I'm faking, oh yeah, man, just got $1 billion and other. Now when I meet you again, I don't even remember the story I told you, you know?
Right.
So
Right.
it is pressure, you know, especially now, this new generation, because social media is sending you algorithms, you know. Social media, and so many people are big on followings, and even me, like I know simple things that I could do to just make my brand grow more, but it's like, okay, when you just say, no, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to represent. So we all have those moments, you know, where we have to make those decisions. But for me, I wouldn't say it was always there. It was just like I say, when you're young and some of the most devastating things happen to you at a young age, I just always lived in a freedom because I wasn't afraid, right? So
Right.
Right.
if you're on a mountain and somebody just throw you off the mountain, you know, and you actually land, you're not afraid of heights anymore,
Right.
right? So growing up in my neighborhoods, most of my friends were dying. Growing up, you know, I dealt with an extreme level of pain that a lot of people just imagine, right? So when you experience that high level of pain, you become fearless.
Right.
Right.
So I think that is a high level of living and not being afraid and just being bold, because I always say the most people in prison are free, right? They're not behind bars, right? And they're in prison to fear. They're in prison to not thinking they're good enough. They're in prison to the concept of who their parents or their
Mm.
family want them to be, who social media want them to be. If you
Right.
can't be yourself, you are behind mental bars, right?
Right.
So that is like, I cannot be nothing but my most authentic self. So, like I say, it was a gradual step from my childhood, from just
Mm-hmm.
being fearless and not being afraid. And then as I grew, just wanting to keep that same space mentally and emotionally.
Definitely,
Okay,
definitely.
wow,
That's
yeah.
heavy.
Yeah, like I mean, I want to ask you, like, were you always in that mindset? Because I know it takes a mental shift. Like Marquis said, a lot of people in our generation now, sometimes the opinions of others outweigh the want to be completely truthful and completely exposed. Because I mean, they're always constantly worried about what other people are thinking of them. So
Mhm.
what things can they practice to get them in the same mindset that you're in now?
To look at life like a piece of paper and don't be afraid to scribble. You
Okay.
know, and what I
Yeah.
mean by that, what I mean by that is when we get the most applause, when we get the most celebration and congratulations, it give us that dopamine boost, and we're excited to say this is who I am because I did good right here, right?
Right.
So now we're always competing with our accomplishments, and we're always it's like this world, right? If you look up Michael Jordan, the first 100,000 pages of Google and YouTube gonna be him dunking from the foul line and him looking amazing, and
Mm-hmm.
it's all his highlights, right? You look up Mike Tyson, you see all the knockouts, you see the highlights, right? So
Right.
we're a highlight society. You look at Instagram or you look at social media, we're all living in our highlights and we want to produce our highlights. But the highlights is not what made Michael Jordan.
Right.
Right.
Where's the practice footage? Where is the footage from him not making it his freshman year? You know,
Right.
Mike Tyson knockout videos don't pop up as much as his him getting knocked out don't pop up as much as him knocking people out, right?
Right.
So when I say don't be afraid to scribble, don't be afraid to make mistakes, don't be afraid to mess up, because in the scribble scrabble you will find a masterpiece, right?
Right.
You will find a new version of yourself where you go, wow, I can't believe that's me. You ever did something so great where you got to go
Yeah.
back and look at the footage? Like, I can't believe I did that.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm a part of this, right?
Hmm.
So, like, don't be afraid to compete with your progress, but don't be afraid to start from scratch and make yourself uncomfortable and tap into those new spaces where you have to start all over. The most vulnerable space in life is feeling like you don't know. So many people want to be comfortable in who they are. They never want to start something new
Mm-hmm.
because I'm great here. I don't want to do this. Y'all know my son. Him with his basketball season this
Hmm.
year was it was he only been playing basketball for 4 years, but
Mm-hmm.
seeing him struggle, seeing him be bench, seeing him like it was big for me because I always see my son as a giant. I always see him as like a leader, but him running track and doing things that he really got to work for his spot and his position, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But so that is what the key is. Like, don't be afraid to just, you know, even a producer, right? For a producer to make a new beat,
Mm-hmm.
for me, I used to be a producer, right? But I
Hmm.
started listening to all my beats, like, man, they all sound the same, right? So
Right.
so what I realized is I had a favorite snare. I had a favorite drum sound. So I
Uh-huh.
kept using my favorite drum sound and my favorite
Okay.
snare, and then all my
Uh-huh.
beats start sounding alike, right?
Right.
So to make a new beat, I had to pick sounds I didn't like.
Mm.
But when I put the music all together, it was beautiful, right?
Right.
So when you wake up, you probably have to do something you didn't think you liked or you were into. You have no idea what your tomorrow is going to be. You have no idea where you're going to resonate with the world. So
Mm-hmm.
don't be afraid to scribble scrabble. Don't be afraid to wake up and say, I'm going to start from scratch. Even though I'm a great speaker, even though I'm a great, you know, scientist, a great doctor, a great whatever you are,
Yup.
starting with a new space, with a new energy, that's where the new version of you will take shape, and you'll touch so many more people in the world, you know.
Man, that's
Wow.
huge. That's huge. He said within the scribble scrabble, you'll find a masterpiece. And I think that's
Yes.
one thing. That's one thing that we really got to take away from that. Cause I know for me, I was a person, I always wanted everything to be perfect. Like that was just like a part of kind of who I was. Like if I ever did an assignment, like any project I did, any video that I put out, I wanted to make sure everything in the video was perfect. But once I realized that when my videos are imperfect, or when my projects are imperfect, or like when what I put out is imperfect, people relate to it more because it allows them to feel like, man, I relate to you. You're an actual human being, right? Like like nobody's perfect. And I think one thing that you said that was huge for me is like not being afraid to start over, not being afraid to say you don't know, and just going out and learning new things every day, going out and trying and failing. I think that's like the beauty of life, trying and failing every single day and trying new things. And even if you're not good at it, it's something new that you want to pursue. So just continuing to pursue it. And that's one thing I had to do with speaking. When I started off, it wasn't good. Like when I go back and I watch those videos, like when I look at them now, I'm like, yo, what were you doing? But I found so much love in it, and I found so much passion in it. And I was like, yo, it's not good like how I thought it would be. Like I wasn't E.T. or Inky Johnson how I thought I would be, but it was my own scribbly masterpiece. And I think that's where people, really need to get, right? Just understanding that everything doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be perfect to you. And you have to find you have to find a passion and a real purpose in whatever you're doing. So man, that really hit me. That really hit me right there.
Let me tell you this too. Even perfection only exists in the moment, right? Because even if you do something, even if you think you do something perfect now, when you watch it 5 years from now, you're going to want to change something.
Right.
So look, that's where I found, like, even me. So like I say, I know we ain't touch on my son or whatever case. And that's why I find this so cool. Cause it's like now that I'm building my brand, it's like, cause now I'm meeting people that don't even have no idea who my son is. Right. So it's like, for the most part, for so many years, that's all people, oh, that's King Nas father or whatever the case, right? So it's an honor, and I appreciate you guys. And then as I grow, right? So with my messages, because my messages is outside of from my son, I always seen it from the background. I always seen it from like, okay, I see that message and I see how it works. So the thing about like my biggest video did 1 million views in one day, right?
Yeah.
And that was a video on intuition. And that is my key. My key is to try to say things and connect words that never been connected, or say them in a way like no one ever thought about them. Right. And when you allow yourself, so even when I say don't be afraid to scrabble, as you like create messages and as you talking to people, because look, your words only mean what they mean to you until they hit the next person's ears. Right. So I watch myself put up messages, and I watch 500 people interpret it totally different. Right. It don't mean the same thing to them. Right. So even with you like trying to carve out the best perfect, it's still gonna hit somebody else. You could put out the most loving message, somebody gonna get offended. Right. Somebody gonna feel insulted. Right. So literally I approach my videos like, let me just have fun. Let me try to mess up. Let me just be. And then sometimes you gotta give it time and then go watch it later. So sometimes I know some of you guys, like, you may snip your videos. Sometimes just do an hour-long recording and just go into rambles and and then watch it back later. Right? It'll hit you in different ways where it's like, oh wow, I didn't know that piece was good, or I didn't know this was this, or I didn't know this was this. It's like it'd be so weird. Like some of the stuff I'll be thinking is like so horrible, it works. And then some of the stuff I think is good, the stuff I think is good don't work or don't move at the moment, So that's why you guys just gotta have fun, but make sure it connect to your heart, make sure it connect to, that's why I make sure I'm in good energy, because it's all a recipe, it's all in ingredients. So if you feel good, if you're excited about what you're doing, that's what's going into the video. That's what's hitting people on the other side of the video when they receive your message.
Right. That's what I was just about to say. When you are like making mistakes with whatever you're doing, you have to make sure it's something that you're passionate about, because if you're trying to live up to somebody else's expectations, or you're trying to live after somebody else's life, it's not going to be enjoyable. You're going to get frustrated more because you can't achieve what you're trying to achieve. But if you're doing something that you're truly passionate about, like I know with this podcast, we mess up. We mess up sometimes. And I was watching back. Yeah, we mess up all the time. And I remember I was watching back one of the episodes to like edit it and stuff and post it. And it was just so funny because we didn't even mean to like make the mistakes that we were, you know, they were just vulnerable. They were impromptu. And so I ended up chopping up all the mistakes that we made and I put them in a little blooper reel and I posted it, and people loved it because people love vulnerability. Everybody can relate to that because being human is vulnerable. I mean, that's just something that's common within everybody that walks the face of this earth. And so when I posted it, everybody loved it. I loved it. I watched it back several times and laughed because I mean, it's vulnerable and it's what we love to do. Like, I love having this podcast with you, Barquise. I love bringing the people on and being able to talk to everybody. So I just wanted to add my 2 cents and make sure it's something that you're passionate about as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, vulnerability broken down is just honesty.
Yeah.
Right.
That's really it.
That's really all there is to it. And I think once you understand that you don't have to be perfect, it takes all the stress off and you can just create. And once you're in that creative mode, it gets a whole lot more fun. Right. But when you're trying to be perfect, it takes all the fun out of it. I think when I first started, the reason I found so much joy in it was because I would just go outside, pick up my phone and talk. I would just talk. I didn't go back and redo the video because like I got into a space where I would go back and I would redo the video like 5-10 times until I got it like perfect, right? Even if I mess up one word, I'll go back and I'll redo it. But once you get into that space where you no longer care about mistakes, or you no longer care about, you know, those blooper moments, and you're just like, I'm gonna do me, I'm gonna have fun with it. Like, people feel that, just like Mr. HUDSON just said, people feel that through the screen, right? Like, somebody commented on one of my videos and it was like, I can feel your great energy. Like, energy is just, it transfers. No matter if it's through a phone or in person, right? Energy always transfers. So I think that's just so huge. And Mr. HUDSON, like, what's one way that you keep your energy, you know, at such a high level? Like, what's one way that you keep like such positive and uplifting energy?
Well, I think that right there, what you just said, right? So I don't keep my energy at a high level. That's impossible, right? I just, like, it's a difference between being alive and living, right? Some people are just alive, and alive is your heart beating and you're breathing, right? So I'm living, right? And I always say problems only mean you're alive, right? So I'm not in, like, my goal is not to be happy every day. My goal is not to ever feel like, my goal is just like, I live for fulfillment. Right. It's beauty and being present in whatever the moment is. Right. So in life, you're going to be sad. In life, you're going to be happy, you're going to be up, you're going to be down. And all the quotes in the world, like Bruce Lee say, you know, be water, right? Because water can transform and turn into everything. Water could be ice, water could be a snowball, water could be, you know, you could put water in a pot, it could cook your food, right? So water transforms based on the situation, right? So there's certain parts of my life where my energy is not high, but I could still have a valuable moment, right? Being a parent, you go up and down, right? But I could still give love, even though I could be disappointed, even though I could be heartbroken, even though I could be devastated, right? These are valuable moments in life. So I meet life halfway. Right. So I'm not always looking to run back into joy and happiness and maintain. I don't want to maintain one part of life. I value my ups. I value my downs. I value everything that comes, you know, and that's the beauty of this thing we call life, you know, and that's what like stunts the growth of so many people, because so many people don't know how to find peace. So many people don't know how to find a balance, right? So being that they're always running and trying to escape a high, this is where you have drugs, right? So people can't give themselves the balance. So I need drugs, I need alcohol, right? So now people are addicted to social media, people are addicted to TV. They're always chasing a high, they're always chasing a dopamine burst, right?
Right.
I live where I live. So
Yeah.
I embrace and I honor the modes of life.
Right.
And that's what I speak to the world, right? Because right now you can put up a happy moment and it resonates with people that's happy and people that feel good about life. But then you could put up a honest moment where you didn't feel so confident, where you didn't feel like, I don't care who you look up to. I don't care who motivates you. I don't care who inspires you, right? If I tell you my life story and I'm like, ha, 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 I guarantee you, you could take out the part where I said, hey, I was molested at 6 and da, da, da. And then you add the part where, yeah, man, I'm traveling the world. And the most part that is going to inspire people the most is my pain.
Right.
Right. So you look at Martin Luther King, oh, well, he's amazing. He used to get hit in the head with bricks. He got locked up. He went to jail for what he became. Right. So we get inspired by these people, but we forget E.T. said he was homeless eating out the garbage. We forget Tyler Perry was homeless, and these people we look up to that we find so amazing. But when you look at their story, their full story and what their highs and lows was and what is the ingredients to who they are today is the real moments that nobody want to go through. But those real moments are valuable moments that will help you know that you're not alone, right? So as you guys grow and journey, like you're gonna have ups, you're gonna have downs. You guys may have more, all the money in the world. Marquise, you got the Lamborghini. You might, you might get out of control with the millions, But then you go to Will Smith, you go to Shaq. Like Shaq was broke like his same day he got his first million. So you want to look up these stories and you want to go behind the scenes. Don't just look at the highlights. Don't just look at the success. Don't just look at the highs. Don't just look at look at the whole life in totality, right? So even as you guys are in school or whatever the case, learn how to process and find the information to succeed in every area of your life. So you're not only running like to happiness or excitement. Value happiness. Happiness is beautiful. Happiness is amazing. But you could also value, even like I said, you look at the caterpillar, the cocoon, the butterfly, right? The cocoon may not be the most exciting part of the journey, but that's the part of the journey that creates the transformation. Right? And that's the dark moment. That's the moment where the thing is stuck. It can't move.
Right.
But that transformation gave the butterfly its wings. So, like I say, I value the darkness. I value the tight spots. I value the moments that make people run.
Yeah.
Because that's where growth happens.
That's huge.
And
and my bad. You want to say something, Reagan?
Go ahead, Marquise.
Appreciate it. Mr. Hudson, one thing that I've always admired about you, right, is just like your leadership and your relationship with Naeem. And when I just saw all the lessons that you poured into him, and then also just in me, I was like, yo, there's only certain people in this world, right, that pour into others the same as they pour into like their own son or daughter or their own kid, right? And I would say like, what is like some of the greatest lessons that you've taught Naeem or like that you taught your son and others that you feel everyone really needs, right? Because I know for me, like my dad, he's taught me a lot of great lessons. And when I just look at our relationship, I'm like, yo, I really just applaud you for
that. That's so funny because, like I say, the teenage years now you seeing how much the information actually stuck. But I think one of the most important because a lot of the lessons I taught, I had no idea I was teaching them, because I'm still learning.
Right.
And just one thing, like allowing my son to be free, because kids become the stop. Kids become the shut up and sit down. Meaning, like when you say these words, because it's a part of the it's called neurological pathways. You guys familiar with neurological pathways?
No.
Okay. So neurological pathways is the neural connectors in your brain, right? So
Mm-hmm.
when you have daily habits and daily routines, it's just like digital algorithms. So you know how you get on the internet and you search something,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and now Google and YouTube, it'll start showing you the thing you search.
Right.
Your brain works the same way. When you get up, you drive, you go your favorite way home, you have your favorite foods, your neural connectors connect based on your behaviors, right?
Right.
Mhm.
So that's called your neurological pathways. So if you're my son and you like, Daddy, I want to create, no, sit down. Daddy, I want to, no, sit down. Daddy, I think I could, no, sit down. Hey, I want to, no, sit down. Now your neurological pathways is going to design itself. And now I always say a boy with a low self-esteem grows to be a man with no self-esteem, right? So
Mhm.
so many times we're aborting our children's dreams, their tomorrow, their inspirations, their ideas, their creativity, and it's not that parents are being mean, and it's not that we don't know how to love and care. It's sometimes we don't know, right? So as a kid, I was told to sit down. I was told to shut up. I used to get whoopings for crying. Like I used to be crying and get a whooping told to stop crying. Like so
Mhm.
a lot of us as parents, we get trapped in that. And it's not that we just want to be mean, but now if I didn't change my life, right? Because so many parents parent the way they were parented. So I threw
Mm.
it all in the garbage. I was like, it's no way
You
I'm
started
passing this
from
down.
scratch. Right.
I'm not passing this down to my son. I was crying.
Right.
I was in pain. Let me throw all this stuff in the garbage. Why am I ever going to use this? So
Right.
it's stuff I was doing that's like I look at now like, wow, that's crazy. I let Naeem be free, to the point but what are you doing writing on the wall? Right on the refrigerator, like I'm like we could erase it, and then we start writing on the refrigerator together, like so it was stuff like
Mm.
that, and it was stuff I'll ask him like he'll just do weird stuff. He in the park, watch out for the duck doodle. He making sure he step on the duck doodle, like so so instead of judging him, I'm like, so why is that interesting, right? So parents, we think of safety, we think of cleanliness, we think of you guys not getting sick. Y'all just thinking of fun, right? So when
Right.
Naeem jump off the top of the swing that's 6 feet in the air, he's like, woo. I'm like, no, like, you know
Right. You're
so
right.
so learning how to put my eyes in his head, learning how to put my heart in his body. Somebody asked me that one day for my son, and they said, "Man, how did you build his confidence?" And I thought about that. I said, "Man, okay, let me." I'm like, "What did I do?" And I said, "Man, I never built his confidence. I just never took it away."
Right.
Mm.
You know. So
Right.
we'll be on a 21-hour flight, and we'll be on a plane, and Naeem never was scared. Like he just on the plane playing games. I'm scared. Like same thing. He talking to 20,000 people. I never seen my son scared,
Right.
right? Until he went to school. And this was the first year I heard him say he can't do something. So that's
Mhm.
why like programming is something like that really shocked me. I'm like, man, they already getting in your head, man, telling me what you
Right.
can't do. But
Mhm.
so that lesson of freedom, that lesson of do it, that lesson of believe in yourself, that lesson of, you know, it is okay to experiment. It is okay to grow. It is okay to make a mistake, learn from it, try your best to do it all over again. So if I could say that one thing that I'm grateful that I allowed him to explore is the freedom to be.
Man, that's
Mm.
heavy. That's heavy for real. Cause freedom's so like I think that's one reason that I really value what my like me and my dad's relationship. My dad sees literally no limits to what I can do. Like I'll
Mhm.
say something just crazy like, yo, like what if we can do $1 billion in sales with a clothing brand? And he'll be like, it's
Mhm.
attainable, right? And he never puts a cap on it. And even sometimes for
Yeah.
myself, I'll put a cap on myself and I'll be like, I don't know if I can charge this much to go speak. And he'll be like, why not? And I'm just like, I mean, I don't know if I'm ready to. And he's like, why not? And he's always challenging me to reach new
Right.
levels and to go to new heights. And I
Mhm.
think that's one thing that I really appreciate in him, and that I see that you teach Naeem and so many others just through your social media. And that's one thing I appreciate about you too. Just like, once we show others that there's no limit to what we can do, and once we see in ourselves that we're limitless and that we can, take our lives wherever we want to take it, right? I think that's when we're all going to find our true power in what we hold just as humans.
Look, think
Yeah.
about. Sorry, Raven. Go ahead if you had something to say.
I was just gonna say, I completely agree with you, Marquise. My dad does the same thing. Like we were driving the other day. I was driving him around his errands or whatever. And I was
Mhm.
looking at it was just me and him, like no other cars were at the traffic stop, right? And I was like, somebody really needs to make it so there's sensors or something at the traffic lights to be able to, like, they see me here, let me go. Nobody else is here to block it, but it's red. So I have to obey the law. But they should do sensors or something. I just came up with this crazy idea. And he was like, we'll make it. I'm like, huh? What are you talking about? He was like, well, you could do it, right? Just plan it out and create the product. I was like, what in the world are you talking about? I just had an idea. Like, but he does that all the time in all of our conversations, and he never puts a cap on my abilities, like you just said,
Mhm.
Marquise. So we just have to be able to explore that. And I really admire that about you too, because I can see it in Naeem when we create our friendship.
So look, the reason why, like, when we go, oh, like, so even what you can make $1 billion in sales, right? So when you think
Mhm.
about that, right, the
Right.
money is already made,
Right.
right? The
That's true.
money, the money is sitting there. It don't have an owner, right? When you want to travel the world, the planes are already invented. The
Right.
tickets
Yeah.
are available, right? When you want to travel, speak around the world, the arenas, the event spaces, they're already there. The people, the humans, they're walking around. The
Mhm.
only thing is waiting for is for us to get up and utilize our gifts,
Mhm.
right? But what stops us is we wake up and be like, man, can I do? Nah, ain't nobody want to see me. you know, like
Right.
Mm.
we be in our own head and we stunt our growth so much. The best
Mhm.
basketball player in the world was scared to like try out for the team. The best speaker in the world
Mm.
was afraid, like what if social media exists when Michael Jordan they make his freshman year? Like what if social media exists when like Malcolm X and Martin was speaking and because it didn't get 100 likes, they deleted it. Like, you
Right.
know,
Mm. That's
Yeah.
so
crazy.
when you want to do
Dang.
something, look at it. Think about, okay, does $1 billion exist? What do I need to do to
Yeah.
to to get
To
it
get
from
it.
the Federal Reserve and to get it from this bank,
Hmm.
right? Because like when we say energy or we say vibration, right? You think of humans, right? Helium,
Hmm.
hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, nitrogen, right?
Right.
Money, like minds, tapping into souls, making yourself so valuable where someone want to share your experience. So whether you have your likeness or your life in a book, whether you
Mhm.
have your life in a merchandise or a connection, someone wants to be connected to your greatness. Now
Mhm.
your greatness, your likeness, you put a price tag on your influence, and now someone love and want to
Right.
support you so much that they want to purchase a piece of your experience, right?
Mm.
So
Mhm.
Right.
that is how you accumulate whatever it is. Because look, this is the thing with social media.
Mhm.
Same with TV. You know, when you watch something, like you have access to something, and
Mhm.
you see TV commercials or whatever the case, and this is why like so many companies pay millions and millions of dollars to tap into the eyeballs of the NFL, right?
Mhm.
And this is why streaming, right? When you get on these apps and you don't have to pay, you're paying with your eyeballs, right? And
Right.
Mhm.
they call it impressions now. So the minute you watch, even now, you stroll social media,
Mhm.
you don't even got to click or like nothing. If you
Right.
if you pause on a post now, it's like the Instagram is counting the seconds you stopped at a post.
Right.
So now they're going
Right.
to show you that post again because you watched that post for like 3 minutes. So
Mhm.
now they know that you're interested in that post.
Right.
So your eyeballs was the money. So now when they try to sell you the advertisement, they could sell that number in the database. We had 1,000, we had 1,000,000 and something people or 100,000 people watch this ad, right?
Right.
So when it comes to influence, when it comes to energy, when it comes to, like I say, you putting a message out there. Like I say, Naeem Fila video reached billions of people all around the world, and the video never died. Like the video go viral every 2 months.
Right.
Right. So when you talk about influence, when you talk about capturing, when you talk about the power of your words, right? So when you talk about reaching your goal, when you talk about $1 billion, that's the first thing you have to do is to say, I can do it.
Right.
And that's not, it's not no just, I'm just saying these words. No, to do it, but to put the actions behind it.
Right.
Right. Because of course it takes actions. You have to set up, because that's the difference. Because we could be gifted, we could be speakers, but setting up the business properly, that's everyone's thing. And that's where everyone, like, you have to find a person in business that speak as good as you.
Right.
Right. So that's how like you succeed in every level. So even me, that's where I'm at in my journey. It's like, because I've always been like a great creative. Now it's like me matching the business. Because even me and my son, it was just me and him.
Right.
And we did everything, traveled all around the world, did a Nickelodeon, like as independent contractors. Like they don't be letting people like, but that was Naeem's dream at 6. Like, I want to be on Nickelodeon. He finally did it, but he auditioned at 6 and 7. It was like, get out of here. Like he wasn't no actor. Like, get out of here, kid. But he did everything he did on his own. It impacted the world, and they called him. You know, so that's what we have to do. You got to definitely tell yourself you could do it and it's possible, because like I say, the money is waiting. People are waiting. You got to put yourself out there.
That's crazy how you said, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Marquise.
No, you good. You good. You gave it to me last time.
Okay. I was just going to say, you said the money already exists. The money is already in the world, right? Just like what Albert Einstein said. He said, energy is neither created nor destroyed. It's just transferred. When we speak things into the world, we can't create things, nor can we take things away. We just start attracting that energy now. So when you start speaking it into the world, you're not creating that $1 billion. You're not creating that success. You're not creating that motivation. You're just attracting that energy now, because that's what you're putting into the universe, which is why I think words are so powerful. But
look, even like when we made Naeem's book, we made because it was an artist, and rest in peace to Sylvester Wofford, the artist that did Naeem's book. He passed like 3 months ago. But you know, some of the pictures he painted, I could show you a picture we shot like 2 years later that came to life. Like, wow, like this picture looked just like this picture. Like, but it was a moment, and it was a certain thing that had nothing to do. I wasn't trying to capture an image that was painted 2 years ago. And it was like, that's why I always say it's nothing like seeing your imagination in person. Right? So when you imagine something, when you like, man, I think I could do it. And then you realize that you're actually living in that thought.
Right.
That's crazy.
You know, like that thought came to life. Like, so if you say, man, 5 years from now, this is what my idea, this is what my concept is going to be. Any of you guys ever been to TD Jakes Church?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. Is it in Atlanta?
I say Houston, right?
It's in Dallas.
Dallas.
Yeah, it's in Dallas. Okay,
so I know it's in one of them. So Naeem spoke there, man. Like, if that is not the biggest representation of like a creative economy, I seen that building, man. Like, he don't gotta go on tour, he don't gotta book no event. His establishment, it's like he designed a mall, right? So he is the economy of Dallas. I seen that place. I said, man, like that is insane. The coffee shop, the kids, it was like a Chuck E. Cheese kind of, like, it was like that. That's when you talk about building an empire.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like that. That's like, so Marquise, I can't wait till you check that out. And like I say, like sky is the limit for you guys. Sky is the limit. And continue to keep the ideas big, and don't be afraid to be social on social media. Don't be afraid to connect. Like, remember what that www means, the World Wide Web. This is the world. So it's bigger than I'm just uploading this little video. You have no idea where your video, like when it comes to us, you don't know who paid your video on. You don't know who watched you. You don't know who inspired you. Like somebody hit me like 2 months ago and he was like, man, I just want you to know, I want to send you something. Sent me a video. And it was like a wedding, hundreds of people. And it was like my video was playing, like, and they got married to my video, you know, and it was insane. But first I was listening to the video, like, when did I say this? Like, cause I do so many videos, so I didn't know what video it was. I was like, wow, that's some powerful words. But think about that, man. Someone is connecting their union to my voice,
right?
You know. So you have no idea what powerful person's phone. Some people just save your video in their phone and watch it every day. And so we are the healers. We are the guiders. We are the inner voices, especially with TikTok and Instagram now. Now they let your voice be someone else's expression. Right. So that's why I utilize the sound. I'm like, what don't someone know how to say?
Right.
And I try to create a message of, this is what someone want to express right now. This is what someone is having a hard time with. When I was a teenager, what words didn't I know how to say? In family situations, what words can I express where every family is like feeling this way, but they want to say this, but don't know how. And it's like, I create that sound for that representation, you know? So you guys should utilize that always. Think of like what teenagers want to say, but can't say to their parents. And when you create those messages, every kid in the world, like, man, this is what I want to say to my father.
Right.
this is what I this is what I want to say to my principal.
Right.
Come here. I'm on a podcast. This ain't about you right now. This is the let's say what's up.
What's up, Reagan?
Hey.
Yo, my guy, what's up, man?
And Marquise on here too.
What's up, Marquise?
Yo, what's up, man? How you doing, bro?
So he's a whole giant now. He's a superstar athlete, you know, like now.
Yo, definitely like got taller.
Even his supporters every day. His like people, they find me, man, because you know he when he decided to go on his journey, and it's big for what he did. Like, you know, he almost had 300,000 people, and he went to school. You know, he temporarily deleted his social medias, and he said, I want to go to school. I just want to be regular. Like, kids are not doing that. Like, they want to go to, like, y'all call it clout. Like, yeah, I'm popular. You know, he just wanted to be a regular human, if regular is a thing. Like,
I feel that.
But he didn't tell the people that support him he was stopping. And so every day, like, where is he and what is he doing? Like, they think I'm kidnapped him or trying to hurt him. Like, I'm like, hey, man, I can't control. Like, he want to go and do what he's doing. And, but everything's good with him. He's growing, and like right now, he's getting ready for track. He's ready to run track right now.
Yeah, I'm not fast at all. Track's not my thing.
Yeah. But I'm getting interviews now. I'm somebody. All right, I love you. All right, let me know when you get there. All right. What time it start? All right. Why are you going so early?
I'm the same way, to be honest.
All right, I apologize. Yeah, he's going to do a little track thing.
I'm the same way, to be honest. I love being early.
Yeah, his track thing started at 3, but so like I said, those are the things you got to get used to as a parent. You know, y'all start driving and walking and going places, and like I say, me as a father, like, and like I say, being molested, like I had to, like, I'm still like getting used to my trauma, and I always want my son to be safe. And it don't matter that he's big. I know I get on his nerve, and text me when you get there. But it's just, you know, the growing pains of going through a real event. You know, and that's the thing as a father. Like I was a helicopter parent. You know, always hovering over him, like, hey, make sure, you know, but I know you guys don't like that. You guys like to be free. And sometimes you may think it's like your parents ain't letting you breathe and but sometimes we just love y'all so much, man. And we just want the best for y'all. And it's the same thing with my son. And like I said, you know, when y'all grow, and then now it's not like, oh, cute kid, to now it's like, oh, all the girls in school. And it's like, gotta let y'all grow, you know. Because when I was 16, 17, nobody could tell me I wasn't no grown up. So we know we know as parents, y'all think y'all grown, and y'all think y'all grown up. So like y'all think y'all, but we still look at y'all as babies, you know.
Right.
So it's so many times, even if you come to the house, I still got all Naeem 9-year-old pictures, and it's like, you know, especially for him, like social media and all this other stuff. It's like people still see him as the kid because he never. Imagine having your baby picture shared every day on the internet.
Right.
So his feline video will never go away. Like
Right.
so that's a moment of his like self. He's like, man, he cool now. So it's like I wasn't cool there to him in his head. I don't know how he look at it, you know. But
No, most definitely. And man, just like I really I really think that like just seeing how far how far he came, because he was somebody I watched even before I like moved to Georgia and like knew him. I actually figured out when I was in school, I was talking to my friend Liani and she was like, "Do you know Naeem?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do. I follow him on IG." And then she was like, "That's my," I think she was like, "That's my brother, cousin." I forgot how they were related. But I was like, she was like, she was related to him. And I was like, "What?" And then like when we connected, I was like, "Yo, that's so crazy. Like the world is so small." And I just really think about that all the time, like how small the world is and like how people like come together. And like after I got a chance to meet Naeem and meet you, like when I saw your relationship, I'm like, yo, that's literally just how me and my pops are. Like my dad's always hovering over me, like trying to make sure like everything's straight. Like, yo, Keys, you good? Like, yo, Keys, you need to be doing this, you need to be doing that. And I found appreciation in that. Although it sometimes frustrates me, I'm like, all right, Dad, I'm trying to do my own thing. I appreciate it though.
And that's what it is. Like, because now, you know, once we put all the information, once we put the love there, you know, so for my son, it's just letting him be, letting him blossom. And I can't complain. Like Naeem, for one, I erased my childhood because, like I say, I wasn't guided. I just grew. I was never really raised. And I had so much trauma, and I was in a different environment. Like my friends were dying. I got friends that died at 15 and 16, and we thought we were grown. Like, so to look at my son and to look at how young he is to me in my mind, but at that age, I was, you know, we were, you know, into violence and into crime and, you know, into so much negativity because we didn't have the guidance that so many of us need and so many young men need. That's why I try my best to be more than a father just to my son. So that's why I was always tricky with me. People are, oh, how many kids? It's like, I got one biological son, but all of my son brothers and sisters is my kids. And I'm a mentor to so many young men and women all over the world that could call me whenever they want to call me. And it's important because I know how important that is to need someone, you know, and fathers like in the Black community, we can't just be a father to our children. So I'm a renter dad. Like I'm so many people father, you know, I'm so many people father. And the funny thing is like, now I'm a father to people that's older than me.
Right.
You know, so when I do my one-on-one sessions and that's the crazy part. Cause like I say, my son was homeschooled from 4th grade to 10th grade. And, you know, Naeem went in there, man. I thought he was gonna have a difficult time with the Common Core curriculum. And this dude went in there, man, 4.0 all A's. Like
yes,
he went
sir.
in there. And I'm like, I had to look at myself. I'm like, man, I really did something. Like, I thought like, even though I know like Naeem was intelligent, like I said, I graduated high school. I couldn't even read, and I still struggle. So algebra killed me, man. Like I never did any of this stuff in school. So every day I was homeschooling him, man. I had to study this stuff. I had to look this stuff up. I had to find this information, and we used to go through it to learn and like, and that's why it was so difficult. Like, you know, I got custody of Naeem at 4 years old. And as we would travel in the world, sometimes we had to travel and then do the homeschool. Then I had to cook and clean and just be a father, period. So this is all going to be told, like, whether we go Netflix, because I still got Naeem whole 6 years on hard drives and storages. And so now as I grow and build my journey, and even my book, like my 2 books I'm working on. So it is a story. So even my content, I know my content don't resonate because I talk about a lot of like relationship stuff, but that is going to be the full story of, you know, how you could take your story and turn it into, you know, it's like, what are you putting back in the world?
Right.
So
Right.
with my son and what he became and what he's becoming, and then it making a full 360. Because if you watch my son on Little Big Shots, Good Morning America, I never wanted to be on TV. I never wanted to be a part of this stuff. But now I know how valuable it would have been if I was there, you know, because the Black father in media is like, we're not there, you know, that's the story they tell.
Right. Right.
So that's going to be the full story of resilience of a young man that was broken, of a young man that was traumatized and molested and all of that. But I came through and I survived and I figured my life out and I found the information to not only homeschool my son, not only be there, not only love him. He went on to be in Forbes as the most motivational kid in America and all of this other stuff and inspired so many people. And that's going to be the story for fathers that don't believe in themselves, for kids, for parents, when we tell this full story, you know, and it's like, I'm grateful to be a part of my son's life. And I'm grateful that I found the strength not to give up. And I admired a young me, like, because I could have ended it all, you know? So even in therapy, like my therapist told me to write a letter to my younger self, you know? So I'm proud of that me, that I didn't end it all.
Mm, right.
You know, because it wouldn't have been this. It wouldn't have been a King Nah. Like if I would have gave up.
Right.
I can't wait to see it. I can't wait. It's gonna be a movie. I even saw Kanye West documentary. I was like, yo, I want to do one of these for my life, because this showing his whole journey, right, was the most inspiring part of it all. Seeing him get rejected and seeing people laugh at him and seeing where he's at now, I'm like, that's what inspires me. Not that, like you were saying, don't look at the highlights, look at the journey and like what they actually had to go through. Like, I can't wait until y'all drop that. That's gonna be huge. I can't.
I'm coming to the premiere.
It's gonna be powerful, like, because I got footage I never put out. I got everything. I got Dubai. Like when we went to Dubai, the Prime Minister flew us out. We was on like, you know, like the Prime Minister of Dubai flew Naeem out. Like that's why I say that's the stuff that's the stuff money cannot buy. I don't know the Prime Minister, like, you know. So that kind of stuff. Us in Tanzania, us in Namibia, like all of the behind the scenes, the journeys, the talks that we're having in the airport, the talks that really put the journey together, like when he just everything, like, because that's the stuff where like it's moments I never capture. And I felt crazy. This stuff Naeem used to say, and that's why he always had a difficult time, because he'll put stuff up. People like, Dad, why they saying you made me say this? And why they, of course he sound like me because he listened to me and talk. I remember one time we went to an event and somebody like shook my hand. He was like, hey man, how you doing? And I'm like, man, I'm perfect. I can't complain. And I said something. And he was like, man, your son just said the same words you just said. Like, you know, because that's y'all, you know, y'all mimic us. Y'all become the soundtrack. And it's not that it's not that I made up the words he said. That's how close we was, man. We used to stay up 5, 4 in the morning and just talk, and you know, like literally my best friend, you know. And that's it. So I can't wait to see it. Even though I'm a part of it, I can't wait to see how it looks put together. And I still ain't go through a lot of that footage, so I can't tell you like some of the stuff we got on there. And like I say, it's bits and pieces of stuff that's to go viral still, but I got all of it.
That's huge. And shoot, staying along this line, right? Like, what's something big that you want to do within like the next 5 years?
I wanna get lost in this journey, because sometimes, like, because I'm different. Like, fear is a program, you know, and like I say, I grew up with fear. I grew up with low self-esteem. I grew up doubting myself. So it's a lot of times that inner voice wakes up in me no matter what I'm doing, you know, because like I say, when you grow up and you can't write, read, and you have so many of those conversations still trapped in your soul, I can't wait to like I want to say outgrow that voice, but I can't wait to just like fully live this journey and fully get lost in it. So like I said, that's one of my dreams. Like I
Yeah.
can't wait to like be talking to thousands of people. And like
Yeah.
I told Naeem, like I just want him there. Like I want him to like be in the crowd. You
Right.
know, that would be like the total 360 of our journey.
Yeah.
And I just want to like I want to be at an event and like him there. You know, so I can't wait till like the book release, and that's it. To just because this was a big fear. Like it was a big fear to like be public, to speak, to because I still was battling and I still was fighting the whole time. Naeem was inspiring the world. I was
Mhm.
hiding. I was hiding. I was hiding. I didn't want to get on TV. I'm a speaker, like, but even before I spoke, I just because as a kid, I never thought I was good enough to talk, and like, so I always had all my thoughts in my head. So that's what allowed me to learn how to speak. So I never even heard my voice out loud. Like, so that's it, really. Like
Yeah.
to fully become my potential,
For sure.
right? Because potential is like an outfit. So it's like the first day of school, you're like, man, I'm about to kill him with this outfit when I put it on. Like, so
Yeah.
when I fully put it on and I fully become, you know, and
Mhm.
and just go full steam ahead because there's so many opportunities. Even when I am like, we could have had like 6, 7 TV shows. They wanted Naeem on every channel.
Wow.
I'll literally ask him like, "You want to do this?" And I couldn't wait till he say no. Like, you know. So
Right.
it's things where it's like we could have been way bigger. So many situations, so many opportunities, so many things that you know. Even with Naeem Journey, he didn't really have a story. So it was one concept we got really close because my family don't care about being on TV. I didn't care. So it was like, who is this kid? So
Right.
Right.
even when on Google, like I used to read so much, oh, he's adopted, his parents are Asian. This is a this is a setup, like this kid is blah blah blah. So many, like so much nonsense. But like the world won't believe, like, no, his father ain't know how to read. His father, because everybody want an excuse to why they can't be great parents and why they can't do what they need to do to be there for their children, to support their children, to overcome the things they're battling and the things they're fighting. And
Mhm.
we all have the power to do it, no matter what your situation is and no matter what your story is. So I don't know, man. Like I said, I just, like I always said, you can't hold on and jump at the same time.
Yeah.
So when I decided to do this, man, I just jumped and I'm still in the air. And
Yeah.
every time I record a video, I was like, I can't believe I'm doing this stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm just tapping into a part of my life where it's like I just said I'm gonna do it, and then even though like I still get the jitters or like I'm still like I'm not I wouldn't say like fully shy, but I'm just doing it, man.
Feel you. Yeah. I feel
Right.
that. I feel
Yeah,
that.
That's
yeah.
beautiful, Mr. Hudson. It was amazing talking with you today and being able to get your perspective because you raised Naeem. Naeem is one of us. And so we have the perspective of Naeem, but it was
Yeah.
beautiful getting the perspective from you. And we really appreciate having you on. I mean, everything we talked about today was so fruitful, but it's time to end us out with our final question, which is your key to being a young mogul. So, what is your key to being a young
Young mogul. Y'all need to upgrade this for like older
mogul?
people that
A
uh,
mogul in
uh,
general. Let's say a mogul in general.
older mogul. Uh, I don't even. What's the definition of a mogul?
So a young mogul is like a very influential and important individual.
Yes, and it's exceeding in their field.
Wow. So what's the question again?
So
What is
what
your
is your
key?
one key to being a young, middle-aged, old mogul?
uh, to not be afraid to be who you are, you know, because like I say, getting lost in the identities, this is how we stunt our growth, you know. So I'm not afraid, like even in celebrity, right? So you look at the pandemic, you see how people was like, oh, I got like we didn't know DJ Khaled had grays, and we didn't know Puffy had that many grays, like, but you see these people every day putting the black stuff in their beard, Like
Yep.
always in
Yep.
celebrity, right? Everybody's in celebrity. Everybody's and when people look up to you and people admire you, they're looking at 20% of your life.
Mhm.
So inspiring people, impacting people's life is allowing people to identify with your truth. So
Right.
I'm not too cool to say, hey, I was molested. I'm not like my branding. I'm not so worried about branding to where I can't tell the truth. Because
Right.
if I influence someone and someone look up to me, I don't want them to think they got to be perfect every time they talk or every time they speak. You
Right.
could show up. You could show up as you are. You know, show up as you are. Be yourself, and don't even think you have to know self all the way.
Right.
You know, a tree is
Right.
still a tree, no matter what process you see or recognize the tree.
Mhm.
Right. So it's like
Exactly.
you'll see a tree planted, and then the next thing you know, the tree is providing you shade.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so showing up right here, right, and then whatever, like the next couple years, or like whether I can't walk in a room because people think I'm like a celebrity, that is like that's the toughest outfit to wear. Like even Naeem be at the park shooting, oh King Nah, and he like, you know,
Right.
and
Yeah.
he like, man, I can't take off King. It's like, because you can't take off what people perceive you to be,
Right.
right?
Mm.
And so celebrity is not even that you change. Celebrity is what people, I always say, when you inspire, you're held accountable for the inspiration, right?
Mhm.
So now people go, people so shocked, they yelling, they're chasing you, and you're like, what are y'all doing? You know?
Right.
So
Right.
I said, man, honesty, authentic, original, true, open, free, freedom, living in my freedom. Not, I don't want to do this and become a character. I don't want to do this and become like so worried about a brand that I can't be honest and I can't
Right.
be truthful. So that's it for my young mogulness and well my older mogulness, like to just
Living in
be
my freedom.
to be authentic, man, and to be free.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's gonna
And
be the
and
title.
out, Mr. Hudson, everybody got to know where to find you on TikTok, on Instagram, on
Yes.
all of that. So, where can everybody find you?
So Dash Hudson _, and I might be changing that because it's like another brand. They have Dash Hudson, even though I kind of like beat them in numbers on everything.
Yeah.
I'm gonna probably be changing that soon before I get bigger or whatever the case. But it's Dash Hudson _ on TikTok, Dash Hudson _ on Instagram and YouTube. Everything. I would definitely be uploading more content on YouTube as well.
Yep.
That's everything.
Perfect. Perfect. Y'all. For everybody that tuned in, thank y'all so much for tuning in. And we'll have all of Mr. Hudson's links in the YouTube description. We'll have them all in the podcast description. So y'all can make sure to follow him on TikTok and IG. I promise you, if y'all follow him, y'all gonna get so much value every day. And definitely if like you need some advice on relationships, you be hooking me up on the
Yeah.
relationship thing. Not gonna lie. Not
Yeah.
gonna lie. I'll be like, man, I needed this right now.
Right.
But y'all, we're gonna have all of those in the description, so y'all can make sure to go check them out. But again, Mr. Hudson, thank you so much for coming on. We really
Thank
appreciate
you so much.
You're welcome. And let me know when y'all free. I'd love to get y'all on Instagram and interview you guys and let the world
Oh
know,
yeah.
about everything you
Sure.
guys are doing.
Oh, let's do it. Let's do it.
Even TikTok. I'm sure you guys, because TikTok,
Oh
you gotta
yeah.
advertise. Yeah. So I'd love to have you guys TikTok, Instagram, however we could
Yep.
do it. I'd love to interview you guys.
Let's do
Perfect.
it. Let's do it. We're gonna make
Sounds
that
good.
happen. So Young Moguls family. Again, we're gonna see y'all next Sunday, man. Again, thank y'all so much for
Yes.
tuning in. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Young Moguls, we out, man. Let's get it.
Bye.
Take it easy.
Easy.